All right, another action pose to be had. So let's get started with this one. And I'm adjusting my chair right now. I am going to do my rough, and I'm not really going to say anything. Hopefully it won't take a few seconds. And then we'll get on with the learning part. Okay, so he's going to be leaning. I thought you weren't going to say anything. I did. And I need my glasses. What am I? Crazy? Hold on. Much better, much better. All right, so here. All right, so I think that should be good with this one. I'll stretch this arm out, make this arm a little straighter because bring it out more. All right, so it was almost good enough for this one. Bringing this arm out a little bit more, at a different angle, like that. Now it's almost good enough. All right, so let's get to the slow part. And of course, he is leaning on something, not leaning on something, crouching down on something. And we'll get to that something in a minute. So what we did here is, first thing I did was I turned the shoulder. Usually if I start out, the person's shoulder is going to be straight like that, but since he's leaning, I turn the shoulder because the one arm is back and the one arm is turned. Then I get the torso so that I can remember that the shoulder is leaning, and then get my direction line or action line. So because he's leaning, you're going to see that V, and then off of that V is going to be that delt, and coming back here is going to be that piece, that other delt, that piece. So what's going to happen when you turn your body, it kind of like just melts into the delt. You don't really separate it. And you have some back right here, and then there's that one. So once you have this, I mean, this is always the most important part, the torso. The torso tells, everything, the lean and the turn and the size and so forth. So then you have the chest under here, which connects to that, and this one's going to go up and back. It's just going to be one piece. So this is what's left, stomach in the middle. So, and then that tuna can, which is kind of twisted because this piece is turned right here. And then the upside down house, aka the hips, like that. So let's put his head here. And the head is going to go down into the shoulders. And his neck is going to be right here, this V at the center line, and his head is going to come down in here. Already this guy's leaning more. Because I've got his shoulder back, his shoulder should be forward, facing forward, not going back. That's the problem. All right, let's do this arm. This arm, bicep, tricep, goes kind of almost straight back. And then it curves down. And then the hand. It's kind of weird. It should be in front anyway. And then the hand. So this, as I said, because this is he's going to be leaning on his hand, this little ball here, instead of being out, is going to be in. I'm so used to drawing it out. It's going to come in and go actually in front of the chest, like that. Go into the chest like that, and then down. That arm is going down. So he's curving around like this. That whole back and delt is curving around. Whereas this one is coming up and then kind of going back. I could make it a little wide. I could give him a little more shoulders. And then there's the chest. And there's your abs coming around. There's your ribs. This part doesn't move. Your rib cage does not move. The part down here moves, so it can twist and go down. So one leg is going to be up, not that far, kind of more like foreshortened, because your knee is going to be right here. So if this is your front circle, this is going to be your back circle, foreshortened. And then of course that back leg is going down. So draw that circle for the calf, and then the rest of the leg. And then this hand stops here, and then it's bent. Just draw kind of like a square-ish, like this. For that hand, if you have trouble drawing hands. And then this leg is going back, so there's going to be a little split right here, and this is in front of the crotch, unlike that one. That's why I moved that one. But what I can do is just untwist this somewhat, a little bit, and bring the crotch over more. And it's not trying to be a perfect representation or a perfect match or copy to what I drew quickly, because I'm drawing this slowly. The right here, leg, and then the knee, and then the other leg, just kind of like going down. And that's going to be covered up behind this thing that he's on. So this head is straight up, leaning. That's why I did the blue, because if you get too many colors going, it's better to have another color to distinguish what from what. And then get that neck again, and then the shoulders. And of course, I don't want too much blue, especially in this one, because I'm going to redraw that. Leg motion is that piece in there which goes down. So we have this knee here, that piece here. And then we're going to put that thumb here. And its fingers, which are going to kind of cover up one another. The first one, the second one. I'm not making it too long because I'm making it long. We'll cover those other two because of the way it's leaning. So get some arm muscles, which I started. Elbow, forearm. Bring that down a little bit more. And you won't see any lats because his hand is going back. Now, if I ink this thing he's standing on, for this one I'm just gonna put like a mountain, little hill. He's standing on a hill. In the original one, he's gonna be standing on a gargoyle. This one's going to be higher, this is going to be lower. Same thing with the stomach. It's going to curve around like that, like that, like that. So you have those obliques again. You don't see that one. And that should be it for that. So let's ink this just so we can have an inked piece. Maybe put a little more detail into it. Maybe. So got that. Alright, I feel like I'm missing something in this drawing, something. And I always screw up on heads because I try to push the pen. When you ink, you never push it, always pull. This is why I turn my page ever so slightly when I ink, so I can just do a little line and keep it going. So, yeah, let's work on this guy now. And my blue pencil. Now, if you had noticed, I ended up drawing a belt on this guy because number one, the waist was a little too short. The tuna can was a little too short for what I was trying to do. So right off the bat, let's do this. And truth be told, it's a Spider-Man. It's a Batman. It's a Batman. I saw it was a Batman statue, and I said, okay, I like that position, so let me go ahead and do that. So instead of me trying to figure out some kind of costume uniform to put on the character, I said, let me just do this, and that to save time because my last video, when I was working on, when I was having the sniffles, and I'm fine, thank you very much. At this point, I'm still not finished it because I have no idea what kind of uniform I'm going to put on the guy. So I'm starting another one. And after this one, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to work on my comic book because I need to work on my comic book. Because what's the use of me trying to teach you how to do things, to do comics, and I'm not even doing comics myself. So, yeah. Batman has always got the skin tight suits on, so you don't have to worry about wrinkles or so forth. So this was the reason I put that belt there to give him a little more belt room, shall we say. And I should sharpen this pencil. Might make things a little easier when I start to ink. So we got that. Yeah, that cape. Let's do that cape. I'm gonna go up over his shoulder. And then you will have the compressed. These are more folds than wrinkles though. And it comes down here the way it is. It's more like that triangle. And then the cape is kind of connected to that little triangle part. So it goes from over the back, it goes down Doing that classic Batman kind of thing here. Actually dips down. That classic Batman pose. Always try to make your stuff flow. Don't just straight down. Give it some flowing like the wind. Look at a flag when it's blowing, how a flag moves. So give capes and hair and belts that hang loose, that flow. So this bat symbol is like this. Let's do that head first, and then that tail, and go up and out. And they always change his symbol. I don't know why. It's like, why do you need to change the Batman symbol? I guess maybe people say, oh, we got to keep up with the times, or, you know, we can't have the same symbol on different suits, or are they doing a different universe thing? Universe 459 or something. So from there, and then he's got those pipings. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called, pipings. Those lines. Give him a little ab. It's a little ab. He is Batman. And then that leg. So let's do this hand because it's got the glove. Got this bat glove. And it's more like a gauntlet. And the hand on the, and the gargoyles was going to probably take a minute to do, so that might fast motion that one. Make that head a little smaller because his body is not. The body is not. It's not. I can kind of widen it a little. To give him that little more thickness. If I go too far, then it'll actually ruin everything. You ruined it. Well, we'll see when I ink it. So what we have so far is not too shabby. Now let me, if I can make this head just a little smaller to allow the body to become a little bigger. Alright, let's get some light, more light. Center line. The eyes are going to be about right here. The nose is about right here. And of course, the mouth is right there on that bend, which is just as crooked it can be. Crooked as can be. So the nose is, of course, that triangle. Round it goes back. Round that off. And there's always that little slit there. And it comes down into that little jawbone. And then it goes under cheekbone, cheekbone, cheek, bone, cheek. It goes down and under his face. And this is something when I used to draw them, I didn't round that part off, and that makes a big difference. I used to just go straight across. And it makes a whole lot of big difference. And of course, you know, Batman is not going to smile. He's not going to have a smile on his face. There's not too much you can do to a small face. You can't really put that much detail into it. So this thing comes up. And of course, you have the eye. It's going to be on that line. Which my eyes are always crooked. That's just me. I was born like that. And as I said, you really need a sharp object, sharp tool when you do this. Kind of make it look sad with that second wrinkle there. It's an eye. This is a droopy eye that makes him look really sad, and a really sharp pencil. Let's try this. Let's tilt it up more. And give him those scowls. Scowls. I got a feeling when I ink this, I am going to screw this face up because it's so small. So many tiny lines with the blackness in there as well. Ink that black. Alright, so let's try to ink this and make some heads or tails of it. Maybe I'm seeing a building or something in the background. Well then, no, it wouldn't be, because he would be on top of a tall building, so there wouldn't be really taller buildings unless they're like way back here somewhere. But it wouldn't be that much detail if I did do some buildings going in the background somewhere. This would have to be like really, really thin going up. But I don't know. As I say, it would be more silhouette than anything else. And then there would have to be something behind here. So I'm not going to do any buildings. Just see how much I can mess this up by inking it. So let's see what we got. See, get a good pen. But I want to use a SX, the Superfine, for the face. And of course, the face is going to require some light. have the finished product. Now, truth be told, it's probably been about 2 weeks, I guess, since I got a video up, maybe a week and a half. So I decided to color this because I was a little rusty with my coloring. So I'm going to start to do more coloring and drawing at the same time and give you some tips on the way I color anyway. So we have from this to that. Well, actually, it was from this to that to this to, yeah, from this to Batman. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be it for this video. And I'm working on Wolverine at the same time that I'm doing this because, yeah, I have been not doing anything for the last week or so. So, rambling time. That's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video, which should be up tomorrow. If everything goes right, it should be up the day after this goes up. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe.